sir, for having us. We are looking at the impact of the 50 billion naira released by...
I don't even know who we're talking to.
Thank you, sorry about it.
I wanted to ask him to introduce himself.
Okay.
Okay, but okay.
Let's do a brief introduction first before we even go. I want to know her as well.
Okay, introduce yourself.
My name is Nkechi, sir. I work for FCT Information Department.
FCT Information Department,
yes,
okay.
I'm also part of this team.
Okay.
Yeah, working on this document.
He's a media icon.
Okay.
He's worked with several media organizations.
Wow.
For the FCT Information Department.
Okay.
And he is our cameraman, Gaius.
Okay.
Working with NTA and
Okay.
my humble self. So, can we meet you?
I'm Taufik Olatinwo, and I'm the head of business operations and ICT at Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company. I also have other passions. I'm a founder of Harmony Innovation Hub, where we do youth empowerment, training, incubation, and acceleration. It's an NGO, so it gives me the opportunity to meet with quite a lot of MSMEs, and that's where we grow the youth in terms of developing the economy of the nation, making them to become entrepreneurs, and having access to the market, and building the economy of the nation.
You said head of business operations and ICT.
And ICT at Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company.
Good.
Okay. During the outbreak of COVID-19, loss of lives, livelihood, as well as businesses were affected due to the adverse effect of the pandemic on the people. And to cushion this effect, the CBN rolled out a 50 billion naira targeted credit facility to help cushion this effect on livelihoods as well as MSEs. So we are here to x-ray the impact of this policy on Nigerians. So how would you, as a person, assess the impact of COVID-19 on individuals?
Well, thank you very much. It's actually a very good question. See, COVID-19 has actually brought two things to the forefront. One is the health issue. The other one is economy of individuals, which eventually rolls up to the nation. Now, it's a kind of dual situation. Where do we put the money? Do we spend more money or more time on our health? Or do we spend more money and our time on economy? It's a chicken and egg situation. You cannot leave one for the other one. If there's health and there's no money, there'll be hunger, which kind of deteriorates health. If there's money and there's poor health, what are you using the money for? Trying to cure yourself. These are the key things that we're beginning to see very clearly. So what should we put first as a nation? The effect of COVID-19 has actually shown us the issues we have in terms of people management and risk management. We've seen a lot of organizations, large organizations, multinational enterprises spending a lot of time on their risk management, even the corporate world like the banking industry. But for the micro, small, and medium enterprises, this has been very, very low in terms of the way they manage the risk. Risk in terms of business continuity. If anything happens, do you have a way to protect yourselves to be able to weather the storm so that you can get back on your feet? Or do you have enough buffer? Or do you have savings? Is your business robust enough to be able to withstand any kind of situation, any disaster, any catastrophic situation that, whether it's natural or, something that's it's kind of man-made. So this is what COVID-19 has actually brought for us to see very clearly. Now, on the effect in terms of the economy, it has had very serious impact on the economy because of the lockdown. The lockdown means people cannot open up their businesses. There's loss of income. If there's loss of income, that means the money available to the family has been reduced drastically. We've seen cases where even the corporate bodies, people are working from home. So to a large extent, some of them they've been impacted, but they've been able to manage it because they have very robust risk management processes in place. They've been able to manage their people. But what about people that are selling in the market? Somebody that lives on a daily basis, somebody who is an artisan that goes out to work in the field and gets paid on a daily basis. the lockdown actually had some serious adverse effects on such people. And this is why it's important that, and it's a welcome development, that CBN actually brought in the 50 billion naira loan facilities to all these people.
Okay, now, let's take a look at the policy itself. While some said it's a welcome development, just as you mentioned, and it's coming at the right time, and it's a step towards the right direction, others see it as just a drop of water in the ocean. Personally, what's your take on that? Do you see it as a policy that will be able to cushion the adverse effects of the pandemic on the people?
Uh, Personally, I think it's a like what we call the springboard into cushioning the effect and understanding what the way we're going to be responding. I talked about risk management. It's part of the risk management the government is applying to be able to support the micro, small, and medium enterprises. For example, the 50 billion is being given out at 5% interest rate till February 2021 before it will now go up to 9%. Now, a single digit interest rate is really very good in Nigeria because in the market rate you'll get is above 20%. Now, if somebody is now offering you 5%, that's like 1/4 of what the market is actually dictating. That means the government is subsidizing the cost of money for this set of people. And because if money is actually free, if there's no scarcity in money, then there's no money to bring superinflation again. And that's why it's important that you have to pay a certain amount of interest for borrowing money in the market. But because the government has subsidized heavily up till February, like a year, up till February 2021, then it's a very good thing. Now, even 9% that they're going to jack it up to is still below what you borrow money from the market. Now, and they've made it very simple. If you have a business that you can verify and you have your bank statements, then you have your credit note or credit score to show that you've got, got very good credit.
Listen. Is it just the lights of the camera? No, it's not there.
The camera is...
Because of the environment, it's an LCD light. It doesn't fit. So that means it's telling me that I will be overexposed, so I should use the normal, the light is okay. So
there's enough light.
Come and see. It's telling me that there's enough light, so I don't need...
Yeah, I put out all the lights in the house, so it's actually very bright. And there are LEDs.
It's very bright. It's telling me that I don't need this light.
So, but as it shut down, or do we continue with this?
No, it's okay.
You're on record, you can continue.
Okay. So from where I stopped, okay. So now the concept of having this subsidy is to be able to encourage all these means, and each person can have access. Well, each small company or MSMEs can have up to 3 million naira, in terms of tapping into the loan. 3 million naira is a lot of money that people who are really business conscious and business minded can use within the period. From information I got, and this has been disbursed by NARSA Microfinance Bank, they've been able to give up to 70,000 to 100,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises, which is a very good thing. Now, based on the success of this, I'm sure the government with CBN will be able to disburse more. But that's going to be based on the success. We're going to wait till like February when people start paying back and to see if if the loans are performing. There's what we call NPL, the non-performing loans. If the bulk of them if they fall into non-performing loans, then that becomes a real problem. But it's too early for us to be able to tell if these loans are actually performing or not. If they're performing, that means the economy is actually picking up. Then if they're not performing, for example, let's say we have a latitude of up to 30% non-performing loans as that's actually high. If we have less than 10%, that means people are actually doing the business and are paying back. But if the NPL goes up to like 70%, then most of them would eventually become bad loans. And that means perhaps the economy is not performing, or people are just not willing to pay back. And that's what you see again in the environment. So the culture of paying back is something that we need to inculcate in our people. It's going to be part of the risk management I talked about. Paying back debt, being able to save money, and also focusing on using the money for the actual business, not marrying more wives or building, or buying new cars when you're supposed to be using the money to invest into the business. So these are the things that people should focus on going forward, particularly the MSMEs in Nigeria.
Now, in that regards, implementation of the policy is one, and on the other hand is accessibility, because where the target groups cannot access such funds, that means the aim is definitely defeated.
Correct.
Now, how would you describe the accessibility of this fund? Is it really getting across to the targeted group? Do you see the process as seamless?
The process to me looks seamless. The requirements are very clear. Uh, and I believe people that have done their due diligence and are following the process very well, they are able to tap into it. I've got a couple of traders there out there in, from Day and other areas, even outside Abuja, that have really come out to say yes, they've been able to tap into the loan. And it's very straightforward. You've got to have a business that you're running. You have to demonstrate your cash flow to really show that you have income. You have to have the credit score to say that you are not owing debt in other places, so as to eliminate or reduce the non-performing loans. You have to have your BVN, because without BVN you cannot have a bank account, and if you don't have a bank account, you cannot demonstrate your income very clearly. And those are the critical items. Once you have those things.
What about the guidelines for repayments?
Okay.
Can we describe it as friendly?
Well, for repayment, if they're saying you need to repay 5%, and that's 5% per annum, the bulk of the challenge when it comes to repayment is interest rate and the tenor. So if the interest rate is 5%, so that means it's actually below the market rate, way below the market rate, right? If now they say that after 2021, February 2021, it goes up to 9%, even 9% is still like half or less than half of the market rate. So it's really very friendly, right? For people that are really very serious and are business minded and really want to pay back, borrowing 3 million and they're doing well with their business should be able to pay back before it goes up to 9%. So what they're saying is they want people to be well focused. It's not just free money that you can pay back when you feel like. So for me, coming from the financial institution, I think it's really good for.
As a financial expert, what do you think will be the impact of this fund to the targeted groups?
Okay, very good. The impact of the fund is going to be like we're injecting money into the economy. Now, injecting money into the economy means people are now able to, revolve it around. It stimulates the environment. People are able to, buy things. They're able to, invest their money. They're able to make money out of it. So, for example, a trader who didn't have enough money to put inventory into his or shops, now there's money to do that. And from that money, they're able to, reinvest and also pay back the loan they've taken from the government. So injecting money into the economy is actually very good. So that means we've injected 50 billion naira into the economy, which stimulates the economy. It revolves around. It goes around. So for artisans that are looking for money to continue doing their business, now they have the money to do it. They can move out. They can go out. They can make money on a daily basis as they've been doing before.
Okay, what about the long-term benefits on the economy?
So the long-term benefits now says that most of the traders, the MSMEs, they are able to pay the people that are working for them on one hand. And that again it's a kind of revolving money. And the long-term effect is such that the money keeps growing. We're creating more wealth from this. The other angle I would also like to touch upon now is if you look at the people that are going into innovation, it brings more creativity. The people that have products that would require them to develop the products very well are able to tap into this money as well, and their creative expertise would now be something that they can take to the market and sell in the market. Long-term effect is really, really very good. I see if we implement it very well and we get to the bottom of it, that's good. Without the other influences of people mismanaging it or people not paying back the loan and most of the loan falling into bad debt, recovery and the other side, which I don't think we should, I mean, I don't pray for it. There's no way we're not going to have NPLs, but it's something that we have to look at in terms of risk. How do we manage the risk? Right.
Taking a look at the entire process, I mean the policy itself and the process of implementation as well as accessibility, how would you rate, did you see any form of challenges where the CBN would need to sit up?
Well, in terms of improvement, I think what CBN should be looking at. Let me do it this way: the ratings. If I rate them from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, I probably score them 8 out of 10, and that's really very good mark. I mean, from my own viewpoint. And the remaining 2, I could have given them 10. The remaining 2 would be more in terms of how do we manage these people that we are giving the loans to. You know, giving out the money is on one hand, also helping them to demonstrate, to give them the guidelines in terms of how to manage the risk of having more money into their company. Because the money, it's not free money. It's not a dash. When it comes to people paying back, that's when they now realize that, oh, I should have been saving money. So the culture of savings is something that CBN should also be providing to all these people that are taking the loans. Making, the education advocacy is very, very important. So if people are not aware they have to pay back, and it's now time for them to pay back, and they're not able to pay back, there's, the aspect of the loan gradually building up to now become something that is, not payable again by most of them. So the advocacy, the education, the guidelines for them to manage the businesses, CBN should also build it up. It could be generic at the initial stage, but we should be able to form like an advocacy group for them to now help these MSMEs as they are taking the loans.
Okay, your general advice now to as many as the people that will succeed in accessing the fund.
Yeah. So my advice to them is there should be a lot of focus on people management, on risk management, on business continuity. How do they ensure their business continues? There's something about being able to start up your business, but the most important is in terms of sustainability. How do you ensure you sustain your business? We've seen COVID-19, it's a pandemic. What if there are other things like fire incidents and, do you take insurance to, help you protect you yourselves, or do you have to rely on, even like a small community whereby you have a group and you can provide support and other things like that. So in terms of risk management, there has to be more being done by these people. People management is very critical, and ensuring that their staff are delivering based on what they should be delivering.
Yeah. All right, Mr. TK or Lantinwo, thank you very much for sharing yourself with us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for giving us your time. We really do appreciate it. Madam Kechi, do you have any follow-up questions?